Welcome to my tarot card reading for for United States 2015. Let's start immediately with the first three cards that we have here on the floor. We have Oya, we have the Moon, and we have Ogun. Oya is about changes, quick sudden changes, and I usually like to associate her with Uranus. Then the Moon is talking about like some kind of thorn that is embedded in the heart, in the flesh, whichever you want to call it. It's about something that is bothering United States, whatever it is. It could be Russia, it could be any other country that they see as a threat. It could be not necessarily a country, it could be a financial situation that is seen as a threat, as a thorn, as something that is bothering and annoying United States. Therefore, what Oya is mentioning is that there's going to be changes on that. The United States is going to be very proactive, trying to remove that obstacle, that threat, that thorn in the flesh, in the heart, whatever it is that is bothering them. The only problem is that once this is done, the tarot cards are saying that there is going to be isolation as a consequence, and probably they might regret it in the long run. Okay, but it's about changes, actions taken in order to remove something, be it a political system, be a president, a minister, whatever it is. The thing is that they are going to try to remove something that they consider painful for them, for their interest, but is going to trigger isolation. Okay, they're going to isolate themselves from the rest of the world by doing this. Not only they're going to isolate themselves, it might be shameful and they might regret it in the long run. Okay, that's what I have to say so far. Let's pay attention to the other cards and see what else they have to say. Okay, we have the rest of the reading here, the second part I should say, and we have the Four of Cups representing Cancer, Neptune, the Three of Swords representing Uranus and Libra. We have to remember that Libra, for me, I like to call it the judge of the zodiac, because the energy of Libra is balancing. It's always trying to be as neutral as possible, very balancing. But then we have Uranus that is very impulsive, is quick, sudden, is always looking for evolving, for progress, and it's all about civil rights. It's about riots, it's about wars, upheavals, coup d'etat, or civil war, or whatever you want to call it. Then we have Neptune that is about depression, it's about being conceited, it's about hiding, but at the same time is not only confusion, but it's at the same time bringing down the walls of whatever it is. It's about brotherhood. So if we put it like this, number one, what we have here is more riots in the United States, something very similar to what we have in Ferguson. Something's telling me that what we are seeing in Ferguson is just a preview of what is coming for 2015. Okay, we could say that there's going to be a lot of riots, protests, whatever you want to call it, civil disobedience, asking for civil rights. That's going to be something really, 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 really amazing, let's put it like that, for 2015. Okay, Cancer, house number 4, is related with domestic issues. Therefore, anything that has to be with domestic, be it financially, economically, politically, and even the citizens, is going to be it's going to be a very hot topic during 2015. Gay marriage is also, like it is now, how it been in 2014 and before, is going to keep being a hot topic. And at the same time, the Tarkers are saying that there's going to be advances on civil rights progress. So I have to say then that gay marriage is going to be something that is going to be approved quite fast during this time of the year. Now, number 4, house number 4, Cancer, we have to also see and think on the party that is in opposition to the president. So we're talking about Republicans. Therefore, what we're going to start seeing is Uranus. There's going to be a lot of fights, arguments, or whatever you want to call it. I think that you have an idea already what I'm talking about, especially if you live in the United States. You can see that war that is waging against the Democratic Party. So it's going to be the same, it's not going to change, but at the same time there's going to be a lot of stuff that are going to be very confusing. A lot of information is going to come out regarding Republicans and many other figures that are running for presidency. Okay, so it's going to be a very hot year, considering that is a year that is going to be prepared. They're going to be preparing themselves for the elections. Okay, let's leave it like this, and it keeps going with the other cards, so we have a broader idea of what is going on. Okay, here we have the third part of the tarot card reading for United States 2015. Like I said, let me make a summary. Like I said at the beginning with the first 3 cards, United States is going to make changes, is going to make a few moves in order to remove whatever they perceive as a threat, an obstacle, whatever situation is for them painful, they're going to try to remove that. Doing whatever they do, we already know how they operate. Therefore, we're going to start seeing that move. The problem is that it's going to create a lot of isolation and probably regrets. Then we saw that what is going in Ferguson is not going to be the only thing. There's going to be more Fergusons around the country. We have to pay attention to Hawaii. I don't know why they keep saying Hawaii. We have to pay attention to Hawaii. So therefore, we have to pay attention to what is going on. There's going to be a lot of confusion. There's going to be a lot of upheavals, riots, protests, civil disobedience, whatever you want to call it. That's going to be very, very normal during 2015. Then the opposing party, Republicans, there's going to be a lot of noise from their part. I think that summarizes everything. Now, let's pay attention what is going to happen the first trimester of 2015. And the first trimester is about objectives, visions, goals, and normal is the first 3 months of the year. Hence, everyone is going to be very, very optimistic, and everyone is going to be focusing on goals. And the problem is that they're not realistic. Simply put, they're not realistic. By the second trimester, we're going to start seeing that those goals and those objectives that were implemented during the first trimester, they're going to bring stagnation, stasis, death, if we can call it like that. Things are going to die off. they're going to get stagnant. Nothing is going to make any kind of progress, and that's going to be very, very significant, especially during the second trimester. So we have to pay attention to April, May, and June, because it's going to be a very prophetic trimester. Let's put it like that. It's going to give us an idea how things are going to end in 2015. Then the third trimester, we're going to start seeing a lot of cathartic or metamorphic situations. And this is very interesting because it's about liberation, it's about preaching, it's about speeches. Number one, this could point toward a lot of civil disobedience, riots, something similar to Ferguson. Not only that, regarding politics, we are going to start seeing politicians making a lot of promises of changes. And we have to be very aware that this is the 6 months before elections. So we're going to start seeing a lot of promises, and that's normal. That's obvious, that's a given. But then at the end of the year, the last 3 months of the year 2015, we are going to start seeing the harvesting of that hard work. This is a month, this is a period where United States is going to harvest and is going to see the results of such hard work, if you can call it hard work. Okay? And it's obvious because November is election time, therefore we're going to start seeing the results there as well. So it's going to be very, very, very interesting, the dynamic. Let's see who wins. Now, when we put together horizontal and vertical cards, we have a very interesting dynamic. It's letting you know what is happening. Here we have the Judgment card and the Seven of Cups, letting us know, number one, politicians, like always, they're going to be promising things that are just that, dreams. They're not realistic, they're not practical. Okay? But at the same time, it's letting us know that all these riots and civil disobedience, in some degree, they're not practical as well. Okay? But there's going to be, anyway, anyhow, a metamorphic process during 2015 for many Americans, for the whole nation. There's going to be an awakening in 2015. Okay? Many Americans probably are going to realize their reality about their dreams, about the famous American dream. There's going to be an awakening during 2015. That's technically what the tarot cards are talking about. And then the results that we're going to start seeing during 2015, what they're going to bring is stasis, stagnation. Things are not going to manifest as the politicians expected. So I wouldn't be surprised that there's going to be regret and isolation from their behalf. Okay? Now, this is going to create what I call the existential vortex. And this is all about decisions. United States is going to be against the wall. And it must take a decision. And all this is related with something that emerges, something that was hidden, a secret, whatever it is, that is going to put United States against the wall. So we have to pay attention what it is. So the media is going to play a part of it. Communication, anything with communication, is going to deliver a blow to the United States. Something that was hidden, a secret, whatever it is going to emerge during 2015, and it's going to change the dynamic. That's what is going to trigger the awakening of the American country. Okay? That's what we have here for 2015. Okay, now we have here what I call the trilogy. And the trilogy is composed of the Seven of Pentacles, the King of Swords, and the Six of Staff. And this is all about, like I said, harvesting, seeing the results of so much hard work. Now, this is about victory. This is announcing victory. But the question is this victory objective or is subjective? Is objective in the sense that it's a real one, or is subjective in the sense that the United States as a nation will believe that they achieved a victory by removing the obstacle or the threat? And that's a very interesting question. Considering all the dynamic before, I will say that it's more a subjective feeling. It's not realistic, it's just subjective. Then we have the King of Swords that is representing confusion. So there is a dynamic of confusion. Things are not very clear. United States has to take decisions against the wall, and it's going to take decisions believing that is pushing them towards a victory. But they're going to start seeing the results of these actions in some way, somehow. And that's what we are going to start seeing. First of all, we have here the two of staff. And we have this man holding a globe, the planet Earth, in his hand, the right hand. But at the same time, he's alone. Notice that he has reached the goal. He got to the point where he wanted. Now he feels that he is dominating the world. Notice that he is standing in a tower and he can see everything from where he is. So it's a sense of control, of power that United States is going to have, and it's going to be very, very subjective. It has created a bubble. Isolation. It has created a bubble. It has isolated itself from the rest of the world, be it financially, politically, whatever it is. It has isolated itself once more. And what is more interesting is that it's alone. Isolation is achieving the goal, but there's a price for that. But then the 7 is right next to it, letting us know that this is all subjective. It's like building castles in the cloud. It's not realistic, it's not practical. This isolation, this bubble, this sense of progress, of being successful, is just subjective perceptions. Is not real. Okay? Then we have here the Knight of Wands, and next to it we have the Judgment card. And this time is letting us know that United States has a little bit more experience this time in these matters, and there's going to be changes, but this is going to be, it feels like a lot of manipulation, and it is very closely related with communication, media, and it feels like they're being very, very, very wise in what they're doing and how they're doing it and how they're saying and what they're saying, etc. Sneaky, I think that's the right word. Okay? There's a lot of experience, there's a lot of being sneaky here. And that's more or less what the tarot cards are saying. Let's pay attention now to the last portion of the tarot card reading. Well, this is the last portion. We have St. Lawrence, the Knight of Coins. We have the Six of Staff and the Ace of Staff as well. Six of Staff, when Jesus walked victorious to Jerusalem. but now is in an upside down position, letting us know that there is failure. We have the St. Lawrence, the one that sold all the properties from the Catholic Church in order to prevent the Catholic Church from collapsing when the emperor was seizing all the properties of the church. And the Ace of Staff. What is letting us know that United States wants the cake and wants to eat it too. Letting us know that this attitude is going to impact them in a very negative way. It's creating failure. It brings with it failure. So we have to pay attention what the United States is going to do during this year 2015. That is a manifestation of wanting to have the cake and then eating it as well. Okay? It's not going to work for them. It's going to create a lot of isolation. We have to consider that Libra also is related to the house number 7, the house of relationships. And whatever it is that United States is going to do is going to isolate them from the rest of the world. So we have to see what political actions are going to be executed by them. And by them I mean United States, the politicians. And not only that, we also have to consider the idea that there are going to be things that are going to emerge. Information that were unknown to the public, be it United States citizens and or the rest of the world, that is going to bring an awakening. So we have to pay attention to the media, what is going to happen that is technically bring an awakening for the rest of the world as well. Okay, that's what we have for 2015 United States.